EPM mentioned that SandM is just the same as gay sex or premarital sex. That's not true. Why is it not the same as premarital sex? First of all, in premarital sex, there might be the possibility that a fetus has to be aborted. But then we say that has no place in this debate because the fact of whether a fetus can be accepted as alive is still up for debate. So we don't want to go into that. And in SandM, the reason it's so different from premarital sex is because the stakes are much higher than premarital sex. The lives of adults are in risk because SandM does have the risk of where adults might die. And it's also different from gay sex because in gay sex, no one actually dies. I mean, if you do anal sex, right, no one actually dies. And if you do it really right, then no one actually feels any pain, and that's totally different. But you know that. Okay. It's true. Right, okay, now we carry on. And they also mentioned that there are, SandM is a way for people to let off some steam, to like be able to act out their fantasy of being assertion, of having power assertion. I mean, there are much better ways to be. I mean, you just play a game, go to a leadership camp or something. Something that doesn't involve the risk of another person. I mean, just be a grown-up. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what kind of society do you want to live in? What kind of society do you want your children to grow up in? Do you want a society where your daughter might one day grow up and then she'll be in a sexual act where she acts like a horse and then is whipped by a guy wearing lederhosen? Or do you want a society where people are committing acts of violence to each other in the name of sexual gratification? I mean, every responsible person, every responsible parent would say the line has to be drawn here and go further. This must not be acceptable. Now, it is the duty of the government to ensure that society is maintained, to protect to ensure the safety of its citizens. No thanks. To ensure the safety of its citizens. And why do we say that SandM does have damage society and damage the lives of the people? First of all, SandM, when you look at it, what kind of sexual acts constitute SandM? There are things like simulated suffocation where people choke themselves to the point of suffocation but release themselves. There are also acts like simulated rape where the two parties actually engage in a sexual act where one claims like she doesn't want to be raped. And so that's SandM. Constant act, no thanks. I mean, these kinds of acts, they're actually elements of risk in it. People can actually die from these kinds of acts. There have been cases where this Hollywood actor died because of an sexual act. Yes?
If you're going to say that you're going to protect every single citizen from doing harm to themselves, so are you going to say you're going to illegalize things like anorexia where you can also die from starvation when you inflict harm on yourself?
Anorexia is a totally different thing. It's a long-term process where you don't actually cause harm to someone, like in SandM where they're actually whipping and bondage to someone, which can immediately lead to the death of somebody, so which is a more pressing matter that we have to deal with. Now, SandM and acts of SandM can sometimes lead to the death of people. As it happened before, and it will happen again unless we do something about it. That's why the government needs to step up and say, this is illegal and we are banning it. And even though we might not be able to stop every single person from having SandM, we can at least, no thanks, we can at least take the stance that this is illegal. So that will provide a level of deterrence so that we can do whatever we can to stop people from having this dangerous, risky type of sex. Even if it's not absolute, it is still a step that we must take. And by that we must take. And first of all, secondly, it also gives the image that we do not allow any forms of acts of violence to be carried out by anyone. Even if it is consensual acts of violence, in the bedroom will not be allowed, will not be sanctioned under government so that we can provide for society that frowns upon violence, frowns upon any forms of aggression on anyone, so that even if it is consensual, violence will not happen in our society. So that's why SandM is something that is abhorrent and something that we must stop right now.
Yeah.